Okay, here we are back in Party Hard. I'm your dark hero, desperately searching for Shut-Eye, and we are doing our final video here with the final 5 parties. So yes, I crammed them all into a 30-minute window, and my goal here is to explain what to watch out for each mission. This is party number 3, which I'd say is probably the hardest one in the game. It's mostly RNG when we get to further in, as you'll see. So I started by blowing up the bus to pick off some people, then I went ahead and grabbed as many people on the edge as I could. And right now I'm just trying to pick up as many freebies as we can because technically you have a time limit here. It's kind of tricky in the fact that there is an infinite number of partygoers that will spawn. I believe it's something like 15 people every 30 seconds, maybe every minute. I'm not totally sure, it's just you have to be able to kill efficiently here, and you will be receiving a little bit of help, which is why it's kind of RNG based. So before I go into more detail, okay, never mind, here it comes. So you notice the eye in the middle turned pink. That means those tentacles are coming out and they are laying waste to anything they can possibly touch. They will kill anything that they can. Uh, Maybe not the FBI, but they'll kill police, partygoers, you. It's a one-shot kill, so you want to get in the corners or the top edge of the map in order to protect yourself. And I don't know what determines when the eye attacks. I don't know what determines how many it kills. There's so much here that I don't know, and it's one of the things that makes this such an annoying level. So I was spotted there. I don't know how exactly, but that's some of the game mechanics in action for you, so yeah. As a result, I am trying to, well, I'm picking up as many free kills as I can since I've already been spotted. And then I use the Shaggin' Wagon there to kill the cop as well as a few other people. Now, the tentacles you can see are going around picking off some of the new partygoers. A bunch of them arrived at the top right corner of the screen. That pushed our total up to 65 people from previously 50. And you can see that the tentacle is helping out a little bit. The important thing is it does thin out the middle, which leaves the edges for you to trim down further. And from there you just want to look for people who are alone or in numbers that you can kill, stuff like that. Since this is more about efficiency than anything else. And I forgot to mention, but on the right side of the screen you'll see a rubber ducky with either paramedics or police on it. This is another one of the annoying things. There are a few different ways the police can make an appearance in this level. And that duck is the most annoying one. So when the tentacles are about, you do not want to be on the right side of the map. And the reason for that is when that rubber duck arrives, it shoots out its eye lasers and will nuke down everything in its path on that coastline. And if you're wondering, it's a one-shot kill, pretty much like everything else in the game, so do your best to avoid it. In the meantime, you can see that a new wave of partygoers has arrived, pushing the total up to 80. Here's the eye laser thing I told you about. So they'll fry everything on the coastline for you, which does help with your efficiency. It's just you want to make sure you're not on the coastline when that's going down. In the meantime, I am just picking off stragglers here and there where I can. The important thing is, in order to win this, you have to make sure that the difference, the number of max partygoers minus the ones that are still alive, is going down even though new ones are arriving. So if we were to look at the number now, there are 8 remaining. If a new wave spawned, I want to make sure that there's maybe 7 or so. And as long as I can keep that up, I'm making progress. So this van right here is one of the best ways to lose the cop on this level. The way he works, you can see how he behaves erratically. He'll keep alternating between wanting to go left, right, up, down, based on how you move. You can use this level to farm the achievement to unlock Katie, but at this point you probably should have all the characters, with maybe the exception of the Butcher. I was going to show how I unlocked him, but it was due to a glitch, so I don't know how many people would be interested. But anyway, we had a new wave arrive. You can see that we have 10 surviving partygoers right now. I want to trim that down because I originally had 8. So just looking for some freebies here and there that I can grab. I was spotted. And the good news is the cop was leaving, so as soon as that cop takes off, the guy just throws in the towel. And as a result, I'm getting a little bit of help here. A new wave of partygoers has arrived. If you see, we're up to 110. And while I did lose some ground there, the important thing is the tentacle really is helping me. Once again, the rubber duck showed up. That's going to nuke everything on the coast. And from here, you just want to make sure that you don't get picked off by the numerous stage hazards. And while we were down 10, or we were sitting at 10, we're now at 6. So right now, this is when the people will be spread out far enough for me to pick them off pretty easily, no problems. You can see 3 here. I decided to just go stabby stabby, and knife goes in, guts come out, and no more party goer. That leaves us with 2, and then 1, and we are done. So I didn't care about killing that guy in front of the cop because once you get the kill, you're pretty much done. So you can see the eye is turning pink. It's taking shots at me, but I'm invincible at this point. So that's the most annoying of the parties, I'd say. It's largely RNG because of how much help you're going to get in killing off those partygoers. But that leads us into party number 4 here. The hard part here is the SWAT team and the immense number of bouncers. If you notice, they're asking you to kill 26 people. That's referring to everyone other than a bouncer or the, crud, what are they called? The SWAT team. So it's the people on stage, the cooks, and that one guy in the party room that's surrounded by SWAT. Those are your targets here. Now, the normal concert rules apply. You can easily shake cops by messing around on the stage. And once again, I was spotted, and the thing is, the cop was leaving at the time, so I didn't have to worry about him actually telling anyone. So we've picked off 4 of 26. And I'll say that this level is not really that annoying. The hard part is just the sheer number of bouncers. Otherwise, I think I actually beat this on my second try. And right here I'm kind of exploiting the whole way the stage works with the police. They have to take the long way around, so you're free to kind of move about. And the thing is, while the handcuff icon is on you, you're kind of free to go ahead and kill anyone else. So I'm messing around with the stage, forcing him to take the long way around, and eventually he will just give up, and that's it. So the good news is there's no one in the pool, therefore you don't have to worry about killing anyone by the windows. You can go ahead and pick off a bouncer if he happens to roam out too far. And that's, like, for the first 25 people here, that's the whole thing. It's just finding an opening, pick off 1 or 2 here or there, move to alternate sides of the map, shake the cops, all that basic party hard stuff. It's the last guy that mixes things up a bit. And unfortunately, I will say that I don't have a really good strategy for dealing with the one guy. Anyway, right here I'm priming the trap to try to pick off the cop. That means I want to kill all the people who would set it off. And as a result, when the cop comes by, boom. So I accidentally messed with the paramedic. Not a good idea, but it didn't matter in the long run since none of the murders will be pinned on me as they currently are. As for the stage, I don't believe the people down there can see you, so you're actually kind of clear to pick off that last dancer. It's just I wanted to get one of the freebies on the right side of the stage, go ahead and pick off a bouncer. And in the event you didn't notice, there are SWAT teams outside of the club at the front door, which is why I had to enter the way I did. There's one guarding the phone on the left side of the map. There's a pair of waves in the middle of the map denying us access from the dancer in the one room, and then the dancer has an extra 5 guards. So he's making this dark hero work for all the shit-eye he's gonna get. In the meantime, right here, I'm trying to kill time and stay away from the cop because there's all sorts of weird stuff that happens when you're by a dead body when the cop shows up. Sometimes he'll blame you, arrest you, and then that's game over. So whenever a dead body is around and the cops have been called, I try to make myself scarce. Anyway, right there, I hopped outside the club so I can pick off another easy target. And here I wanted to kill the bouncer. The thing is, he's going to panic when he sees that dead body. So I have to add him to my casualty list. At this point, there are 5 people remaining. You have the one dancer on stage, the 2 dancers on the main floor. You have. Who else is there? Oh no, there's 4 left. The 2 dancers, the one guy in the party room. Is there a cook or something somewhere? Yeah, there is. Okay, I see him now. So 1 cook, 2 dancers, and then the whale. So right here, I'm trying to take the roundabout way so that I don't aggro that one SWAT team guy by the phone. You can see I actually did. Thing is, the SWAT team actually does not have a long range. So they will not chase you very far. It's something you can kind of take advantage of. You'll see right here when I run out to the middle of the dance floor so I can pick off those 2 dancers. The guy will only follow me about halfway there. And then these guys are outside of the radius, so I don't have to worry about aggroing those guys until I actually had them dead and everything. So I'm just going in here while I wait for stuff to reset. I can help myself to the 1 cook, and all things considered, we are now left with the 1 guy. Now, I'm not seeing any sort of item on the map that we can use to try to kill him. I don't know if there's a way to, like, there's a trap or something that could potentially reach him. Like, there's no car on the map, there's no, there's a lot of things that there could have been that there simply isn't. And while I'm trying to find something to use to my advantage here, ultimately I settle on a tried and true old-fashioned strategy. Some of you may have already guessed what this is, but for those of you that want to see it, here it comes. There's about I wouldn't even say it's a minute left in this level. So I'm skirting the edge to make sure I don't aggro him until the last second, and then, as soon as I shake him, I'm waiting for as much stamina to replenish as I can, and here we go. Leroy Jenkins. So yeah, I just ran in there and stabbed him. Once you have the last guy dead, the cops and everyone else can't actually bother you anymore, so we get a pass on the level. Not the most graceful or elegant thing, but it works. And you can see we got a decent score of 5,500. And with that level out of the way, we are now on the I'd say the second most annoying level on the game. So you have a 3-minute window to kill everyone here. What's the problem, you ask? This level is the glitchiest one in the game by a huge, huge margin. So to explain the 3-minute window, the ship is supposed to be sinking. Thing is, due to the various glitches, it doesn't always sink. So as the boat actually sinks deeper and deeper into the water, the lower levels will get flooded. Anyone down here will be instantly killed, thus helping you with some of your body count. The ship is supposed to be gradually burning, producing plumes of smoke here and there to obscure vision, making it easier for you to get certain targets. You can see the plumes of smoke right there in the middle of the map, making it easier to kill stuff in the deck area here. Well, the middle deck. And you can see that the bottom is starting to flood. So anyone on the back end of the ship would have died there. As for the one waiter guy, that's a visual glitch, just contributing to how messed up this level actually is. And right here, it's just I need to try to get who I can where I can. And even though I've been spotted, it's not really too much of an issue because there are so many ways to teleport around this level. And it looks like the cop wasn't even that interested in me anyway. So I went ahead and ignited the speaker to try to pick up any stragglers that survived my bomb. And there's the cop after me. So I'm going to go ahead and warp over here. It's going to summon the plumber to patch the hole, but it really doesn't matter. And like usual, when the handcuffs are on you, that's your green light to kill anyone who gets in your way. You have a green light to murder until that cop leaves the map, in which case things revert back to normal. So there's 1 minute left on our clock. We have 8 people left to kill. And the ones over here are kind of free. Now, that one standing cook, I try to stab him. Thing is, it's a glitch. He's already dead. Yeah. Now, there's supposed to be plumes of smoke on the actual front end to make it easier to kill people on the front side of the ship, but it's glitching. And then at this point, the lower level of the ship should be flooded. So, everyone down here should be dead. It's just, like I said, this level is extremely glitchy, and that's where all the trouble with it comes from. And sometimes the ship doesn't even sink like to where it is now. It's just a mess. This level needs fixing, and I don't know. Anyway, that was our last guy, so we are done with the level. And you can see that time ran out, so it said I was dead, but it's still a passing for this level. I had it glitched one time before where no one would respond to anything, so I just went around killing everyone. That unlocked the butcher and everything else. And, well, it's kind of interesting to see the glitch. The fact of the matter is, it's just nothing responds. I'm just walking around stabbing to my heart's content. Now, as for this level, this is probably what I consider to be the stupidest level in the game. The way it works is you just have to survive for 5 minutes. You have the help of the tank and the various guards here. I don't know if you can defend yourself, but for the most part, I actually don't do anything here. I'll arm 2 traps eventually, but this one it's just me standing here for 5 minutes watching everyone else kill zombies for me. Now, while it does say there are 9 targets to kill, stuff like that, you'll get the 9 at the very end when the place is carpet bombed. It's just in the meantime, watch. Sorry if this sounds boring, but it was pretty bad on my end too. That's why I'm just going to be mashing the dance. I'll move from room to room dancing, but this was probably another one of those poorly thought out places. But then again, I don't think I showed any of the zombies on my playthrough since it's a Twitch thing, and since I don't live stream, the probability of me getting these zombies to spawn is actually something like 1%. Basically, not happening. So one thing I can talk about here is that the tank it has hit points. It's going to die eventually. Now, I don't know if you're allowed to move outside and inside through the window in the top right corner as you please, or if you move out, the plumber will patch it. But my plan here is just sit here, dance, wait for the help to die off. And in the event they start to corner me, then I run outside, arm those 3 traps, and then hopefully hold out in the top right corner. It's possible I can defend myself with my knife. I don't know, I never bothered trying. But you'll notice there are SWAT team members here and there. They have machine guns to pick off the zombies. For the guys that look kind of like drill sergeants, maybe, they will actually just beat the zombies down with their bare damn hands, because that's how they roll. So, yeah, that's it. It's just a sit here and wait for 5 minute level. Those are your 2 helpers plus the tank. And eventually another tank will spawn. It's going to drive by outside, mowing down friend and foe alike, which is both a good and bad thing. It's good if you have a lot of enemies out there and you're kind of getting overwhelmed. It's bad because usually the 2 SWAT team guys out there have things pretty well under control, especially since there's a 3rd one in the doorway that can help them if things really get bad. Uh, this is probably my least favorite level of the game since you're not even playing, you're just watching. Poorly thought out, poorly implemented. That's my assessment here. But all things considered, this is probably the easiest level in the game since the whole thing plays out for you. So, minute 40 left, 100 seconds. Probably should have cranked this into high speed to make it a little bit easier, but there are a couple things I wanted to talk about the previous level and stuff. So, while the 7 new levels were kind of nice, thing is there are so many glitches and other problems I would have preferred those getting fixed. For the most part, these levels, I mean, the good news is they were free. I don't know if they're always free or if it was just for the people who already had the game. I would not pay money for these levels, that's the thing. So many assets are reused. There are a couple new sprites for the various characters, but otherwise, there's already a level that uses this set of walls, however you want to think about the meshwork of the level. And, like, we do get 7 free levels, but the thing is, they're not actually that different. Oh yeah, tanks destroyed down in case you noticed, so we won't be getting any support from that. And in case you're wondering, that one SWAT guy pretty much can hold things down since the enemies are forced into a bottleneck here. He can just kind of mow them down as they come. Worst come to worst, he can get help from the Sarge there, so everything's under control. Final 20 seconds. I have both traps armed just in case, and my plan is to just sit here and dance. This is pretty much my last stand. I don't see any items on the level, so yep, it's just one of those things where you have to sit there and wait. Anyway, that's the carpet bombing, so everything's dead. We have our 9 kills. If you notice, I have 400 points. I'm not totally sure where all those came from, but the main thing you get here is your time bonus. That's your points. And here we are at the final of the after parties. 50 victims, 1 house. And we start off with just Dracula and the DJ, but we're going to be swarmed by skeletons in a moment. So I recommend going ahead and picking off those guys. There are skeletons in the garbage bags, by the way. You'll see me stab one of them right here, I think. Okay, I'm arming the pumpkin first. So in the event you actually need a couple more kills, odds are it may be one of those guys hiding in a garbage bag. Just a heads up. So he wants to call the cops. That's something I don't want. And the other guy is going to be kind of relaxed because he thinks his buddy's calling the cops. Once again, I'm intercepting this guy. And then a free kill here. Kind of close since there was a guy by the window. And I'm just trying to kill the people who are running to the telephone because the longer you can keep the cops out, generally the better things are. It's just there are 2 phones here, so keep that in mind. As the cop cleans out the dead bodies and makes it safer for me to traverse the area once again, I'm just going to stand here and dance. Maybe a little bit boring, but due to how confined this space is, you can't, like, you have to kill 50 people in this tiny space, and just due to the way the police AI works, sometimes being too close to a dead body means the cop will associate it with you and then come after you. And in the event you're that close to him in the first place, odds are you're not going to be getting away from him, and it's game over. So right now I'm trying to pick up stragglers here and there wherever I can, since as you thin the herd out, there are more and more opportunities to actually get things done. There will be skeletons that wander on the right side of the map. Those are pretty vulnerable. Those are my ideal target. And I kind of wanted the guy in front of the ambulance, but then the spectators coming down through the window again, or by the window, so they'd see it, sadly. I was planning on stabbing these 2 before the 2 other guys arrived. And they take off before I have a chance to really do anything. Sadly, this level is kind of what I expected from the DLC. It's just the other ones, yeah. Especially that lousy, lousy alien level. So I shoved as many people into traps as I could because generally that doesn't aggro the cops. People nearby won't say you're the murderer, they just call the cops. That's kind of it. So if you notice, this guy is coming over to the side of the building, and there's no windows that you have to worry about, so I just have to stab him, and then I can toss his body in a dumpster so no one's the wiser. In case you're wondering, the dumpster will reopen after a period of time. I don't remember how long, but you can see that it's already open. Okay, final 4 minutes. So I'm stabbing him since there's a chance he could flee before I'm ready to come and kill him. The other guy, however, he was close enough for me to toss in the dumpster, so I'm more than happy to oblige. And right there I got spotted. So in order to escape the cop here, I'm going to be burning the secret passageway. But like usual, I tried to pick up a couple extra people here and there since I can't be accused twice. Went ahead and grabbed the spare clothes. And you can see the plumber is sealing the doorway. Now you probably could have used this opportunity to go into the main room and just stab like crazy. Thing is, with its change of clothes, I can barely talk or speak right now. It's pretty easy for you to shake the heat. So I'm just holding on to those as a last resort to get away from a cop, since I burned my one get out of jail free card. And that one body I never disposed of ended up getting spotted, and here we are. But the guy on the front porch was left untended, so he is no longer with us. So I shoved a guy on the fire that ended up putting it out, and then those guys are sitting ducks. And then, once the bodies are dead, you want to create as much space between you and them as possible so you're not accused of guilt through association or proximity or something. So I was kind of hoping she would go closer to the dumpster so I could toss her away, but no dice. However, that guy is still a quick, easy mark. So 15 to go. We just have to try to pick off the stragglers, thin out the herd, and then work our way to the core. Unfortunately, that one room with the pentagram on the floor is a little problematic here simply because... Oh, I thought I threw that body in the coffin, but oh well. That's a gathering point for the various skeletons, and you don't really have a way to pull them out. You can't, like, create a conga line or anything as far as I know. So you're forced to play the waiting game. So right there I was spotted, it's just I patched the leak immediately so it didn't become a bigger problem. And that puts us all the way up to 43 of 50, 7 remaining, I think. You can see 2 dancing, 1 walking around. And I'm not going to spoil where the others are, but it's kind of like a visual glitch of sorts. Stab. 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 And as for where the other guys are, I was a little confused. But then I hit my left trigger, and there they are. So they were hiding underneath the corpses. And I really don't care about being spotted because I can just go ahead and pop my change of clothes, as you can see there. One guy left. As soon as he lets his guard down, knife goes in, guts come out, and we are done with Party Hard. So this Dark Hero is going to be getting some well-deserved shut-eye, but first there's a score screen you need to see. Unfortunately, as far as I know, there's no reward for beating these other than just saying you beat them. I did it because I figured some of you might have been interested. I don't know. But that's Party Hard, and we are done. I'm the Dark Hero. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.